Okay, now begin to breathe outwards, drawing on the shadow, but not putting it into something specific. Just reach out with yourself.
Reach out with yourself. What does that even mean?
Your energy, your power, the stuff you use in magic.
You can't just reach out with that.
Have you tried?
I would, if it made sense.
Hector seemed unperturbed.
Imagine that the energy you use to create a spell instead is used in a spell animating the air in front of you.
You can't animate air.
Belinda, you're the worst.
I can't believe he hasn't killed her yet.
Yeah, he's pretty good at this.
I'm rather impressed at how inept she is. That level takes dedication. It takes effort.
I'm surprised that this is the first year she's been held back.
It isn't. Apparently, she's actually older than Heck by 2 years.
Whoa.
What? She looks 12.
I'm a bit shocked to learn there's another student so old.
Give Heck until the end of the winter, and he will have her ready to graduate.
You have that much faith in him, huh?
Absolutely. He heard me panicking about my inability to heal well, and, he helped me train last night. He can't even heal, but by simply helping me improve technique, I've already got a firm grip on the basic spell.
Why do you think it will take him the entire winter for her then?
Because she's brain dead.
The two met eyes and broke into laughter. The urge to lean over and nuzzle Prude passed as quickly as it struck Ash.
That must be some sort of inside necromancer joke.
Still funny.
The trio turned back to Hector with Belinda.
Perhaps try breathing out the magic.
Magic isn't air. How did you graduate? Don't you even teach?
If you don't try, I'm going to tear out your lungs and do it myself.
Whoops. Apparently we don't have unlimited patience.
Prude rushed after Hector, putting herself between him and the other necromancer. Ash spent a moment surveying the gardens for any sign of that odd necromancer girl that she had met before, but the search turned up no one. Ash had a moment alone with the strange paladin. Let's talk about the floating island thing.
Like?
Other than being 1,000 feet in the air, it's pretty boring. Even those who can use magic just spend most of their time trying to figure out how to get the most basic spells to work. Much less exciting than down here.
So, do you think there's a chance that another null like you could be up there and have accidentally paired with me?
I don't really know, to be honest.
I didn't get to ask before the topic kind of got derailed, but...
Elfnod laughed.
Which is a gender-neutral title.
Ah, okay.
Somehow that worried her. The idea of a mysterious potential new girl as a love interest to distract her from the one at hand had been a comfort. A comfort. Then again, was she even so sure that a girl is what she wanted? She couldn't remember having ever been attracted to anyone else, male or female. Perhaps she was not so fickle a heart as to care about gender. Her eyes fell on Prude, who was holding back Belinda as she clawed the air before Hector. Or more likely, she was still so enraptured with Prude she was blind to anyone else. She took the moment to look over at Elfnod. He was handsome. Yes, he was much older, but he had a rugged, worn appeal, like a good pair of boots. She wasn't sure that was the kind of appeal one would find in normal attraction.
Something wrong?
Sorry, just thinking.
Elfnod turned to Prude and Hector.
They're a good match. I am impressed at how well they get along only having just been paired. Either the magic pushes them a little closer, or it's really good at picking. I wonder which it is.
Ash turned back to the three. Hector had begun to explain the basics of ritual casting again, even going as far as to demonstrate it as Belinda continued to struggle past Prude, snarling.
I still don't trust Hector. I think he might have interfered with the ritual, but I cannot deny that he really does seem like Prude's type. I should know. I tried to be that type.
Oh, I am sorry. I know that can be hard. My fathers were the same way, and witches are generally more accepting of such things. Or so I would surmise from what I have seen.
I don't know, our heads are two ladyloves.
Your fathers?
I am the son of my father's first marriage. He remarried after my mother died in an accident to my other father.
Oh. Are you?
I don't advertise it, but yes, I don't want to suffer any more prejudice. Being considered mad is more than enough.
So your blood father, he's interested in both?
Aye. He told me once that he would never meet a woman he loved as much as my mother. But he was happy to have met a man that he could.
I never really considered it, being interested in both.
It's not so uncommon among my people.
It's rare here.
I imagine it's less so than you think. Likely it's just frowned upon, as it is in most primitive societies.
He's like, I mean, I'm down here because I need to learn about the magic stuff, but y'all have so much twisted.
We're not primitive.
Says the little girl to the man from the flying island.
Point taken.
You have no idea how refreshing it is to talk to someone who doesn't think I'm crazy or simply lying.
It's nice to talk to someone who has an idea of what I'm going through.
I understand. If you need to talk about anything, you have my ear. I also have a bit more experience with romance than you, so don't be afraid to ask for advice.
Ash sat thoughtfully as she and Elfnod watched the melee.
Okay then. Do you think I should stop pursuing Prude?
Elfnod turned back from the howling Belinda, who had resorted to flinging curses at Hector.
I assume you've already talked to her about it, yeah?
Ash nodded.
And what did she say?
She said she wasn't...
She couldn't finish the sentence. Elfnod only nodded.
Then yes. That road only has sadness. If you change her mind, you will find one day that she is lying to herself. If you push too hard, she may push back and push you away. Be happy with friendship. Try to move on. Find someone else. Be they boy or girl.
Elfnod turned back to her and smiled.
Just don't pick me. I ain't the type to rob cradles.
Ah ha ha ha! Imagine that this is an 80s movie. Ah ha ha ha! Everybody laughing. Elfnod laughed, and Ash found herself joining in.
Good!
Belinda was standing in shock, a tendril of shadow leaking out from her chest.
Oh, light and shadows, heck. Were you trying to enrage her until she got the spell?
Not really, but I figured that if I just kept explaining it in different ways, eventually something would stick.
Belinda's face was a mask of shock. She looked younger than ever, a child, wide-eyed.
Can you teach me more?
Right now, I'd like to take a break to eat something.
But we just started!
Yes, and using that much energy quickly tires me. We can start again after eating.
Oh, jeez, heck. Do you have two stomachs or something?
A chill ran down Ash's spine. Goddess, that kept happening.
No, of course not. Magic is energy intensive, though.
Yeah, but you eat like a horse.
No, I assure you, I eat a highly balanced diet, including many diverse foods and dairy products.
Let's just go get you fed.
Wonderful idea.
We may as well follow them.
No, I have to go look into something. Could you tell them I just had something occur to me and I needed some time with my research?
Of course.
Still watching as Prude and Hector walked toward the kitchen, Ash retreated away toward the library. She prayed she found something to ease her fears. While it may seem unlikely... Okay, yes, so I'm hoping this is where it's leading. But now I'm wondering, after the, two stomachs thing... what if... Hector's a gray mage? Huh? And that's why he's so powerful? Huh? Anyways. While it may seem unlikely, gray mages are capable of performing the pairing ritual again, and in fact do so. In the autopsy of a particularly powerful gray mage that had been ravishing the city of Treeport, 4 complete sets of organs were present, suggesting the gray mages will pair and cannibalize each other. Ash skipped a few pages that went into detail about the anatomy. Little is known about how the altered anatomy affects the daily life of a gray mage, as none have ever been captured alive. Some mages suggest that this may trigger increased metabolism, as so he would need to eat more, as well as increased physical ability without even, like how he ran to the city, without even tapping into the powers available to a mage capable of reaching into both pools. The anatomy may also contribute to gray mage's apparent ability to operate with very little sleep. Ash closed the book. It was the 3rd she had read of the limited library containing studies into the gray mages. She wished she had found something to convince her that her fears regarding Hector were but that, fears. Unfortunately, nothing she had found comforted her.
That's some pretty heavy reading.
Oh, Ash snapped to attention, clapping the book shut as her eyes met with Belinda.
What are you doing here?
I noticed you weren't going with the others. I wasn't hungry, so I followed you.
And you've been staring at me reading?
You haven't been here that long.
Belinda's eyes fell upon the books and returned to Ash.
You don't think Hector's a gray mage, do you? I mean, I know you don't like him. I know I certainly don't. But that doesn't mean he's actually evil, you know?
Wait. Do I think that Hector's a gray mage? Is that what I'm answering? I'm gonna save. I feel like I'm being led into a trap. Like standard storybook trap where they're like, no, there's a perfectly reasonable explanation for this, and now you've ruined this guy's life. No. I don't think I would tell her anyway. No.
No.
I mean, the heads have the Rod of Binding. It clearly marks pools of power inside of people. They would immediately be able to identify if someone had 2 pools inside them. And weren't they out scouting with Hector just the other day?
Ash felt a great weight slide off her shoulders. She had forgotten about the rod, about the trip. She had been so concerned with the oddities that existed in Hector that she hadn't realized how impossible her fear was.
Thank you.
No worries. I figured I should tell you. I mean, I owed him for the ritual thing. Anyway, I'm going to leave you to clean up your books. I'm heading back to the garden for more training.
With that, Belinda left. With a sigh, Ash reopened the book and began to read once more, starting from the section with the detailed descriptions of anatomy. Hector was right. Studying was just what she needed to relax.
So, did you figure out who she was?
I think so.
For now, we have to speak
Only at night, when she's sleeping. Do you have any information on this thing on my hand?
No, and she's not asleep. Hello there, girlie. Spiraling.
The sounds in her head were gone. Ash pushed herself upright off of the pillow of the tome. I would make this the second time hearing those voices. She couldn't decide whether or not hearing the voices proved them real or proved her mad. Had they been talking about a mark? The voices had sounded different this time, more clear. Still, they hadn't sounded right. One had sounded at once both singular and a chorus. Shivers found her in the warm library. If what they had discussed was indeed a mark, then one of those voices was her pair.
Good, you're awake. Prudence was worried about you when you didn't return.
There are certain curses far more dire and foul than light and shadow or goddess. Ash quickly recited all that she could remember in rapid succession as she leapt to her feet.
Studying the Grey Mages.
His face was crestfallen.
I am sorry I told you about my theory.
Oh? Why?
Ash asked the question with a little more enthusiasm than it required, her heart still pounding from Hector's sudden appearance.
Prudence informed me that the idea of being paired to a Grey Mage had frightened you. Admittedly, rightfully so.
Hector paused, his face becoming a mask of concentration as he appeared to disappear into deep thought.
Your fears are unfounded. A Grey Mage would have to be very nice to be paired with you, because you are a very nice person. Unless you are secretly a sociopath.
Like you?
I speculate there may be perhaps 1 or maybe 2 Grey Mages with any reason to be such besides being, well, evil. But such Grey Mages would be very, very rare, and it is unlikely you would ever meet one. I mean truly extraordinarily rare. Believe me, I've thought about it. A lot.
I get it.
The point I am trying to make is that I made my original theory when I was grasping at straws. As ridiculous as it sounds, you are far more likely paired to someone living high atop a flying island, and they probably have no idea what the phoenix mark on their hand is about.
The words struck a chord with Ash.
I think you're at least half right there.
She paused for dramatic effect.
I heard voices again.
Heck's eyes grew large, and his lips narrow, his face flushing.
Light and shadows. I need to talk to Elfnod more. I need to learn about this witch magic.
Do you think it's a witch?
Possibly. Just think. Being paired to something other than a paladin. If that is possible, would trios be possible? A witch, a paladin, and a necromancer. And he mentioned wizards. Are they a type of witch? Or could we have squads?
Oh, God.
Oh, just imagine it. 4 people. Of course, if we ever find that to be the case, we'll have to keep this secret from the cult of Grey Mages.
Yeah, that's not something I wanted to think about. Yeesh.
Sorry.
So how are we going to get to a flying island?
Hector's enthusiasm. Hector's enthusiasm dampened with a visible tick of his eye.
Ah, yes, well, I haven't gotten that sorted yet. The first thing I plan to do is determine the range the ritual is capable of. From there...
Hector shrugged.
Now, about the voices, what did they say?
Ash recited the conversation as best she could.
I think your pair's a boy. Sorry.
Sorry for what?
Because you like girls.
I'm surprised you picked up on that.
The sarcasm dripped from her voice.
I am more perceptive than people give me credit for, which isn't actually that hard, as I don't think I am ever given any credit.
Anyway, I don't really know what I want.
Ash cocked her head for a moment.
No, I lied. I still want to be with Prude.
Me too.
Ash's eyes grew wide. A knot of anger broiled in her stomach.
I like her. I didn't really know who I would be paired with, or even if I would.
Hector struggled with words, wrestling between his tongue and his head, trying to find what to say.
I like her.
Why would you say that? Oh, God, because you're dumb. Because you don't realize that... You big dumb. Big old dummy. I mean, I think I'd be pissed. Oh no! What was that? Ash fixed Heck with a glare so icy she could have summoned winter. Heck merely examined his hands, looking forlorn. The two sat in the dark of the library, silent until the candle began to burn low.
I'm going to bed.
I should probably do the same.
Hector began to turn when suddenly Ash was before him, dangerously close.
What's the...
Oh no! Oh, I didn't want this. I don't want to, like, get all up in his business. What? Nope, none of this is what I wanted. I didn't want any of this. I didn't want any of this. No! Oh my god, this is such a terrible idea. What is happening? Why are we doing this? Even the music is like, dog, you made the wrong choice. What have you done? Wait, we're loading this. Yes, I'm positive. Please. Oh my god. I do not want to. I don't want that route. I don't want to do that. Oh my god. That went so extreme. Like, I figured resent would just have me be like, God, you're the worst, and then I'd leave. And then when it was like, try to find out what she sees in him, it was, I thought it was leading to me being like, all right, well, let's just talk to the guy. Let's have a nice chat. Jeez, wow, that got so real and so intense so fast. All right, well, let's, I guess, sympathize. Ash sighed.
You and me both.
The two sat in the dark of the library, silent until the candle began to burn low.
I'm going to bed.
I should probably do the same.
Oh! Wait! Oh no! Am I gonna have to do this again? Hector began to turn when suddenly Ash was before him, dangerously close.
What's the...
Dang it, there's no way to avoid this. I guess I'll... But I don't... I don't want to kiss him, I really don't. What? There's like... Wait a minute! This isn't fair! This isn't fair! It's like, I sympathize with him. So I either kiss him, or I get like a little angry face ding on my record. Alright, well, I'm sorry. I ain't kissing you. It's not happening. Ash leaned into him, her lips pursed. For a moment, he panicked, staggering back. Everything seemed to weigh suddenly on her shoulders. Her unknown pair, the sinking feeling that was ever present in her chest. Prude. A loud slap rang out across the library. I don't want either of these to happen. I don't want to do either of these. I don't want either of these to happen. Look, it's better than kissing him. A loud slap rang out across the library. Ash stood above Hector, her eyes alight with fury. Hector's head was turned to one side, the skin glowing red on one cheek.
That was a decent blow, although this is not the training grounds.
She slapped him again, this time with the other hand.
If you like, I can give you pointers on the best way to do real damage.
The response made her even more furious.
Why can't you just get angry at me?
What benefit would that provide us with?
Maybe then they could fight it all out and what? With a sigh, Ash collected her belongings and marched out of the library. Hector just stood there looking really confused. I bet, man, I bet. Somewhere in the back of her mind, guilt began to set in. For now, though, a tiny smirk curled her lips, and letting loose a bit of her fury brought her a tiny fraction of peace. She silently wondered how long it would last. The next day, Ash woke up early. She donned the only pair of pants she owned, and a dress short enough to be mistaken for a shirt. Why did she own a dress like that anyway? Prude likely gave it to her ages ago. Heading out of the dorms, she marched down the mountain stairs and toward the paladins' barracks. Not a soul crossed her path as she made her trek. Reaching the practice yard, she armed herself with a wooden sword from one of the many racks. Ah, cutie! Holding it forward, she gave a few sheepish swings, trying to judge its balance. Satisfied, she began to practice. It wasn't long after that the first of the paladin trainees began to arrive. They looked at her with a mixture of confusion and bemused expressions. They left her alone, save for when she caught the occasional bout of laughter. She could only assume it was at her expense. It had been a very long time since she last held a blade.
Ash?
Ash stopped, wiping sweat from her brow.
Hey,
Why are you out here?
I want to learn to fight.
Prude narrowed her eyes.
You want to learn to fight. Why?
I have my reasons.
Necromancers don't fight.
I fight.
Ash hadn't seen him approach. If there were any lingering feelings over their encounter from yesterday, he failed to show them.
Okay, fine. Well, most necromancers don't fight.
Hello, Ash.
Ash felt whatever emotion had compelled her to come here this morning drain away.
I didn't realize that you trained here.
Where else would I go to fight?
That makes sense. That's why I'm here. I was thinking of trying to, I'm not sure, become stronger.
That's good. I was worried that you were coming here for me after that incident yesterday.
Oh no.
Yes, where I taught you a thing or two about manners.
I hadn't realized that was what that was.
What was?
Veronica here saw fit to strike me across the face.
Oh no! Prude is gonna be like, what?
What?
Prude wheeled to face Ash.
Why would you do that, Ash?
Hector here had overstepped his bounds and ignored propriety.
Ash glared at Hector.
I merely reacted in kind.
Ash, what in the name of all 17 hells makes you think you have the right to react like that? One, you know Hector is a bit different. He can't help how awkward he is.
Okay, look, this would have gone bad either way. Either way, like, Hector wasn't gonna react, and then he was gonna just, like, nonchalantly mention, and then Prude was gonna flip out. Look, okay, if I had kissed him, he would have been like, oh, remember that one time when we kissed? And Prude would be like, I'm sorry, what? Slapping him is so much better, you guys. Like, I'm convinced that slapping him is so much better.
Two, you attacked him, unprovoked. At least not physically. I don't know why you would think that would ever be okay with anyone.
You punched him to make him go to bed.
And finally, three, that's different.
How?
It was for his own good.
Ash flushed, but tried her best to maintain a grim expression.
Do you understand?
Do not presume to lecture me, Prudence. You may be my best friend, but I do not.
No. You are my best friend, so it gives me every single right to correct you, especially when you're being a piking bitch.
Whoa! Hector drew in a sharp breath. Ash's own breath caught in her throat. Whoa! Before Ash even knew what she was doing, she swung her wooden training sword at Prudence. She blocked it with an easy, almost casual parry. With a roar, Ash stepped forward, swinging again. Again, Prudence knocked the blow away with the ease of one who was playing with a child. Ash held up her blade in both hands, roared, and stopped. Prudence had tears in her eyes. The blade fell from Ash's hand, sinking dull-edged blade fist into the mud. She stepped forward and the two embraced, tears rolling from Ash's eyes as well.
So the first thing you need to do is practice a better stance, Ash.
Damn it,
Also,
Hector!
as powerful as your blows were, a smaller, thinner blade would likely suit you better.
Shut up, Heck.
Okay.
The sound of heavy boots mucking through the practice field toward them drew Ash to look up from Prude, their embrace ending. Zachariah stood, scowling.
Another rot-sucker here to waste the time of my recruits?
I believe to waste their time, I'd have to be a bad fighter who was holding them back in training somehow, and not someone who has trounced you. Twice.
Hector's eyes oozed metaphorical venom as he glared toward Zachariah. Ash silently thanked the light and shadows it was only metaphorical venom, remembering a particularly unfortunate accident during the early days of her Nox training. She was glad that blind Istershan had adapted so well.
Whenever you open your mouth, Mr. Warlock, you seem desperate to give me excuses to kick you and your girlfriend out.
Wait, why would you kick out Prudence? Wouldn't Ash and I make more sense?
Prude's eyes became saucers, and her entire face turned as scarlet as her hair. Ash tried to feel happy for her, but could only feel resentment that it was that man who made Prude feel that way.
Light and shadows, Mr. Warlock, you are impossibly dense.
Zachariah simply shook her head and walked away, cursing under her breath about idiot children.
Huh. I was expecting that confrontation to be more dramatic.
I think she's as sick of you as I am.
I'm sorry about that.
Oh, Hector.
Goddess, do not apologize. I don't want to see you roll over so easily.
I go back and forth with Hector, which I think is what they're trying to do, so that you just don't know. You just don't know, and I just don't know. Fuck.
You likely could, if you were to ask him.
Here's the other thing that's possible. Gray mages aren't actually terrible. But then, if that were true, if Hector was a gray mage, and he's not like a bad guy, he's just weird.
I did not realize we had plans to train here this morning. Is Belinda expected?
No, we aren't doing ritual training here. Just normal training.
Hector, would you care to spar?
Ash, I don't think that's...
I would be glad to.
No, don't go easy on my account.
Hector, ignore what she said. Go easy on her.
No, please. I'd like the chance to see exactly what you're capable of, Mr. Warlock.
Begin!
Hector! I told you to hang back.
But she asked me not to. Twice.
Nothing serious. One of her ribs may be broken, but she'll live.
Did you just heal me?
No, Elfnod wants to become a healer, but he's just an enhancement specialist at the moment, much like Zachariah herself.
No, Zachariah is a self-enhancement specialist, by far the least elegant and base of magical forms. Elfnod is highly skilled at enhancing others. He will one day be a phenomenal physicianal mage, if not a healer.
You flatter me too much, Hector. And here I thought you had decided you had no interest in men.
I don't. I am trying to court prudence.
You'll have to excuse me.
Are you not going to continue training, Veronica?
It's Ash, and no. I've already been out here long enough. Oh, I didn't expect you to be here.
I wanted to talk. You okay?
I'm fine, it's nothing. What did you want to talk about?
You
like Hector, I know. I don't. I don't like him, that is. I don't really know how I feel about him, though. I don't trust him, but I can't say much more. Prudence.
Oh, this is important if you're using my actual name.
Please don't. Not yet. There's something about Hector I just can't trust.
Don't worry, I'll be careful. I'll see you at breakfast.